All right, let's go right to the phones. We got our friend Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth on the phone. Jeff, good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning, Chris. I'm doing pretty darn good. Happy Thursday to you.
What are the top 2 or 3 concerns that the Trajan Wealth advisors are getting hit with right now?
Well, surprisingly, a few days ago when the market took such a big downturn, I was surprised at how few calls that we fielded from our clients. So applause to all of you, our clients out there. That was a concern. We did have some prospects who called in asking what's going on, but I wouldn't say there's any real big concerns going on. If you're a long-term investor, I'd say there's no better time to get in than now. I mean, the market is very strong. The economy is very strong. Again, I say if you're a long-term investor, I'm very optimistic over a long period of time. I don't let these little short-term disruptions bother me. The political climate is what it is. I mean, you look back 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, there was always political turmoil. There always has been, there always will be. So I just don't let it interfere with what our goals and our objectives are.
Because the noise is always there, right?
That's right. It always is. One of the big things that's on the horizon now, the administration is pushing this new stimulus bill, the $3.2 trillion stimulus bill, and they're thinking of ways to come up with the capital and how are we going to pay for that. So there's a lot of potential changes looming that'll affect capital gains, that'll affect ordinary income tax. It hasn't passed yet. I think it has. Some items have a fairly good chance at passing, but I always say to people, regardless of what the tax is, there's no such thing as 100% tax. So you're still making money at the end of the day.
As we like to tell people when they say someone needs to pay their fair share, I always ask them, can you please give me what percentage? What's that? Just give me a number.
Right. What is fair? That's right. Everybody has a different definition. Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about something we haven't talked about before. Let's talk about, a lot of planning that especially people over the age of 60 are always thinking about how to best benefit maybe kids or grandkids, especially with education. What's some of the strategies that Trajan can offer to that sort of client to help out with maybe education stuff? Because we know that's not getting any cheaper anytime soon.
No, that's right. Education continues to increase in cost. So there's a few different plans that people can set up, and we actually do this with a lot of our clients. Maybe they don't need the money within their lifetime, or they're living life to the fullest, and they just don't need the extra money that they have in their investments. Maybe Social Security is covering everything, so they set up plans for their grandkids in many cases, and those include 529s. I'd imagine that you've heard of 529s.
Sure.
The benefit of a 529 is you can sock, it depends on the state, but you can sock upwards of $300,000 into these plans per year. I know that doesn't apply to me, but you can sock up to $300,000 or more depending on the state in these plans. It's not pre-tax, so you generally can't deduct it from your earnings that year. However, the benefit of these 529 plans is that they grow tax deferred, and when your child goes to access it for qualified education expenses, all of the earnings are tax-free. So the beauty of investing, and this applies to every investment, is the sooner that you get started, the more of your account that's going to be earnings. And earnings you have to look at as though it's free money. So the nice thing about the 529 plans is they're all tax-free.
If I said it was like a Roth IRA version for education, is that inaccurate?
That's very true. Yep, that's very true. And it's for education. So a Roth, you have to wait until 59 and a half, obviously. Hopefully Your grandkid isn't waiting that long to go to school. But another one is an UGMA. So these aren't too common, but an UGMA or an UTMA, Uniform Gift to Minors Act or Uniform Transfer to Minors Act. And the nice thing with these is you can put money into these plans. It's literally a gift. It's generally around $15,000 a year that you can gift to someone. And by giving a gift, it's coming off of your earnings, so you don't have to pay taxes. Now, you don't get to deduct that from your income, but the earnings on it you don't have to pay taxes on because it's in their name. And then it becomes their property at the age of majority, which, depending on the state, is typically age 18. So then they can use it for a new house or a new car or whatever they need. The disadvantage here is that they do receive the money at 18 and you can't take it back if little Johnny just doesn't turn out how you anticipated.
There's a lot, I remember reading something in the last few months about the amount of money when people do pass away, or they have a lot of money that's just sitting in IRA accounts and stuff that go nowhere, right? Mm-hmm. And I think this is why having that discussion with a Trajan Wealth advisor is so important, because for a lot of people out there, some of that money is just going to sit there and do nothing. And if you can make it work better for you and for your kids and grandkids, why wouldn't you do that?
Without a doubt. I always say seek professional advice. We don't build a house by ourselves. We don't mend our broken leg by yourself. Seek a professional. And there's a lot of tools and resources that we have access to that the everyday do-it-yourself investor just doesn't have access to, that we can really provide. And I think there's also a lot of biases out there that exist. And those biases come from either friends and family or coworkers or even the news, that we can dispel a lot of these myths and help you really understand what you're getting and what you're investing into, which will be a big benefit for your long-term retirement, your kids and your grandkids.
How do the Wake Up Tucson audience, how do we get a hold of a Trajan Wealth advisor and set up that cup of coffee to find out more? And
Sure. We have unlimited coffee, for sure.
We're a big fan
simple.
of coffee around here.
Us too. The phone number is 321-4100. Very simple, 321-4100. Or they can visit us online, and the website is trajanwealth.com, TRAJAN, wealth.com.
Jeff, I always appreciate our discussions together, and keep doing the good work out there, my friend.
Thank you, Chris. Same to you.
Take care. All right, that's Jeff
bye.
Jr. from Trajan Wealth. Go to trajanwealth.com.